Hey everybody, it's Atheist for the Cause here, and I've got a cool video response for you on feminism. This is going to be pretty funny for you, I think, so let's get to it.
It's blue versus blue at Wimbledon. The animal rights group PETA.
I love this title, by the way, Feminist Triggered by Bikinis, and it's like, oh god, what's this going to be about? And then the start, I'll rewind it. About freaking PETA? That's not where I was expecting this to go, but I'm glad it went there.
It's blue versus blue at Wimbledon. The animal rights group PETA sent a group of bikini-clad models to the tennis tournament where they gave attendees strawberries with dairy-free cream to promote veganism. Sounds harmless enough, but now PETA...
I'm sorry, this whole thing is just like a mishmash of like, how could this go wrong? We've got feminism and PETA and bikinis and veganism.
is being denounced by feminists for, quote, 70s-style sexism, using attractive women to get attention, critics say, is a form of bodily exploitation, no different.
By the way, when they bring up the 70s, anytime feminists bring up the 70s, you're pretty much talking about Gloria Steinem-style feminism, the intersectional type of feminism, because the 70s that's when that type of feminism was created, and of all the types of feminism around at the time, like in the 70s, it's a Gloria Steinem feminism that rose to power in the media and has basically kept power ever since.
From milking cows. Wendy Osifo is a feminist and a political commentator, and she joins us now. So, Wendy, if this bothers you, what's it like for you to...
So apparently putting women in bikinis to sell that ice cream is no different than milking cows.
Go to the beach where there are literally thousands of women in bikinis. I mean, you must go crazy. Do you try to cover them, or how do you respond?
Absolutely not. It doesn't bother me when I go to the beach. The issue here is around the issue of sexually exploiting women when it comes to the PETA ads, whether it's having women in a cage.
Oh, I see. So women aren't choosing to go into bikinis. They're being exploited. They have no agency to not go in those bikinis. Okay, I see.
Age, or whether PETA does something like telling adults to drink breast milk. It's just something that really goes against how we should be looking at women. There's no reason why a grown adult should be asked to drink breast milk. You know, they use these type of exploitative acts to ask people.
I'm sorry. We can get those points, but I'm not for adults drinking breast milk. I think it sounds gross.
Exactly, and that's what they're asking people to do.
But why does that bother you? I mean, maybe some people like it. I thought feminism was about choice.
Actually, feminism is making sure that women and men have equal rights. So what PETA is doing is they're trying to
By the way, the whole breast milk thing, this is some like leftist movement thing it really hasn't caught on, but they've actually put quite a bit of time and energy into trying to make this like it's cool to drink breast milk longer movement. I've read articles, it's especially true in Europe. It's really strong. Like they want you to breastfeed children like up to and over 2 years, and you know, now PETA's taking it to the extreme to say all your life drink breast milk, which is pretty ridiculous, but you know, it's just something that doesn't seem natural to people and kind of grosses people out, so it really hasn't caught on. But this is, I don't know why this is some crazy leftist thing, and it's not just PETA. This is a movement that is outside of PETA, that PETA's co-opting.
Sexualize women to make people buy their products and buy their mission. And at the end of the day, I think that what PETA is doing is great. I think it's awesome.
So if you break this down, what this really is that women have the choice to dress in bikinis to sell products, and by her own argument, men don't have that choice. Because men in bikinis, according to her, if you draw out the logic, then men in bikinis or, you know, dressed skimpily, they won't sell the product as well as the women will. So that only enables women more and gives women more choices if you actually listen to what she's arguing for. But she's arguing against that choice. It's pretty funny. And she's supposed to be a feminist, but just wait till you get to the punchline in this video. You're never gonna, unless you've seen this video, you're never gonna guess what she says. That completely destroys her own argument.
One believes in animal cruelty, and quite frankly, if you do, then we have to look at you a certain type of way. But at the end of the day, it's about mission and mission creep. If you have to use women in a sexual manner to be able to advance your mission, then you have to question whether your method is flawed.
So let me ask you a question.
First of all, something Tucker never really brings up, but I'm sure it's met because he had a different strategy. But the fact that, like, this isn't the only thing PETA does. Like, far from it. Maybe PETA has a thing where they somewhat regularly put women in these kinds of outfits, and you know, where women agree to go into them for the cause. But they have many other strategies as well. This is just like one snapshot.
Sure.
The women in question, you're looking at them right there wearing the bikinis. Are they adults? Are they adults or are they children?
They are adults, and they have the right to use their body in any way they want to.
Well, I guess that's kind of the question. I mean, I don't think there's any evidence they were coerced or forced at gunpoint to do this. But you're behaving as if they're children being...
Exactly, because feminism always treats women like children. Because it's about creating women are victims and a narrative that women are victims. So she has to somehow say that they have the choice to be in these bikinis, but that by being in these bikinis, they're victims of basically corporatism or sexual exploitation. And it's like kind of funny because those two conflict pretty strongly, and it's hard to get around that.
Exploited, or they're too dumb to know what they're doing or what it means. Do you know that they're too dumb to know what it means, or
no
why
one is
would
behaving
you
as if
treat
they're
them as
too
less
dumb.
than fully
No
adult?
one is behaving as if they're too dumb to know what to do. What we're saying is that if your mission is solely based on using women in a sexualized manner to get your mission across, then you have to start making pivots.
What do you mean
then
using
you have to
women?
start making pivots to advance your mission in a better way.
I'm going to have to. You said that. I just want to bring you back to the question at hand, though.
I answered it.
These women chose
Get ready, because she is about to blow her whole... She's about to blow feminism out of the water. I mean, she is about to expose feminism like you wouldn't believe a feminist would expose its own movement. Or that you might believe, actually, if you've dealt with feminism enough. But it's hilarious how she doesn't even get how she completely exposes feminism and how it's not for women at all.
to do this. No, they chose to do it. And I thought that part of...
And it's not, you know, feminism is not for equality, like she explains. It's not even really about women, or women's rights, I should say. But I can't wait for this.
Equality was being able to make your own choices, even choices others might disagree with, because as an adult, you have that agency, that freedom to do it. So when did these women lose the right to wear bikinis if they want to? And who are you to tell them they can't?
And they never lost that right, Tucker. What is being said is that if a company historically and systematically uses women in a sexualized manner to continuously try to get their mission across, whether you have women locked up in a cage,
but what if they volunteered for it? But hold on, what about the... Okay, you're making generalizations about all women.
I'm not making generalizations. I'm actually giving you specifics of what PETA has done in the past.
Two specific women. But what if they want to? What if they volunteered for it? What if this is their choice? And I think the...
She completely missed what he was saying about the generalizations, that she's not commenting on these two women. Say these two women specifically want to be in these bikinis for the cause. She is now attacking PETA for these two women doing what they want to do. That's the point Tucker's making, and she has yet to deal with that.
evidence suggests it is their choice, and they
It
did
is
want
their
to.
choice.
That's
but
not
I
a
think
valid expression of feminism.
What you're doing is you're trying to place blame on the individuals as opposed to looking at the $1 million company.
I'm not blaming. I'm
that's what
I'm
you're
not
doing.
against strawberries and cream, honestly.
And that's
so.
exactly what you're doing, because you keep on asking about the women. It's not about the women, because I'm sure they were paid for it. I'm sure they didn't do this against their will.
It's not about.
He got her. Did you hear it? It's not about the women, and he's going to make sure. That's what he was looking for. I actually thought that she might make herself look decent to at least people who already agree with her, and possibly some people in the center, by having the argument of, oh, look at the company and ignore the individual choice. But then she just destroyed herself, and now Tucker is going, the dagger is in, and he's going to just keep twisting it for the next 43 seconds.
The women.
About,
okay, right.
What we're
you just answered your own question, because it's not actually about the women, is it?
It's about the mission of...
That laugh. He always likes to, once he exposes them, embarrass them a little bit. I don't know. I think it's for his audience, but at the same time, it has to have an effect on them. Like, you'd think the people would have a little introspection after this. She said feminism isn't about the women. Exactly. It's about controlling women. That's what it's about. Feminism is about power and control. It's not about equality. It's not about women's rights. Don't go thinking that. It's about pushing a narrative. Why do you think the Women's March was anti-Trump? There's nothing about women's rights that's purely anti-Trump. That was more about politics and leftist politics than it was about women's rights.
I think you're admitting that. It's never really about the women,
is it? The organization, Tucker. It's if you use women to exploit them. That's what the issue is.
Maybe that's the problem with modern feminism. It's not really about the women. It's about
modern
controlling
feminism
them.
is all about equality. And as a father of 3 girls, I'm surprised that you don't feel as though feminism matters. And that's really sad.
I live with...
See, here's the problem. It's not really... she's speaking pretty well for her cause. The problem is she's just on the wrong side of the issue. Because how do you hold a policy that, both the women have the choice to go into that bikini, and they have the power to do that for a cause that they believe in, but at the same time, anybody who chooses to hire them based on that choice is now, sexually objectifying them and harming them. And now there are some victims. So basically, you're pressuring the companies not to allow them to carry out their choice. You see what I mean? So, and she's doing like a solid job of trying to marry the two, but in the end, there's just no way. And she shouldn't have said it's not about the women, because that just exposed the hell out of, her belief system.
With 4 women in my house, and I treat them like adults because they are, and because I respect them.
And we will not sexualize.
And when she gets exposed, what she do? She attacks Tucker and goes after his children. You've got 3 kids. I mean, how despicable is that? Yeah, she's really for women when, as soon as she loses the argument, she goes after his girls. And tries to say that he's a bad father to them. How freaking pathetic. That's all there is here. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This is what feminism is about. And this is why, if you're for women's rights and, you want to end some inequalities against women, I have no problem with that. Feminism should not be that vehicle. You're seeing right here why right here. And, as a men's rights activist, feminism also greatly hurts men. They don't try to solve issues for men. And even though they say they're about equality and they actively harm any time anybody tries to end an inequality for men. If you try to, have a domestic violence shelter come up, or a homeless shelter for men, or anything like that, they look at that like any dollar for a man is a dollar not given to a woman, and they'll oppose almost all of it. Healthcare for men, why is breast cancer awareness such a huge thing, but prostate cancer awareness, you just rarely hear about? Prostate cancer actually kills more people. And by the way, men get breast cancer too, but we just won't cover that. And per capita, although men get breast cancer far less often, I'll admit that, but per capita, of men who get breast cancer compared to women who get breast cancer, the men are far more likely to die from it than the women. And that's because of all the awareness for women and the free exams and all of that they can have. And men are denied for those free exams and for things like breast cancer, and it leads to literally them dying. And even men at risk are denied. Like, there was one guy who had a lump and has a family history of breast cancer, and he went and was denied the ability to have a free exam because he was a man, and the free exams were only for women. This is a high-risk guy with actual lumps. So, anyways, this is what feminism looks like. It's not pretty. It's not what they tell you it's about. And Tucker Carlson exposed it beautifully. Have a good one, guys.